Hello, hello, hello. Good day to you. It's the holiday for some of us here in the U.S., 4th of July. So I've been enjoying being off today, despite what this holiday stands for. Neither here nor there. Thank you for joining me live. If you are watching on the replay, that's fine too. Just put hashtag replay in the comments so that I know that you stopped by to visit with me. Got a new background today. I like to switch it up and keep it funky. So today's topic, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right on into it. Topic is escaping scattered energy. Escaping scattered energy. And this topic came to me because it's something that I have found myself in previously on a few different occasions. Obviously, life is going to life, and so there's going to be chaos and mayhem abound because that's just the way that this thing is set up, this human experience of ours. But recently going through the escape of the scattered energy and having time to reflect with myself on how things are currently versus how I've navigated this situation or similar like situations that have come up in the past that feel very similar, that can feel triggering, if that's a word that resonates with you. And so if we've not met before, I am Yaminah, aka Coach Yamz, and I am the owner of Healing is Work Coaching. And so I'm just going to get right into this topic. So escaping scattered energy. Essentially, to me, what that means is you are lacking mental clarity. Mental clarity is being in a state of mind where you are fully engaged and active. So everything's fire, all the cylinders are firing, everything's going good. Inside, you're not feeling like all over the place and crazy. And it's important to have clarity of mind because it enables you to have strong problem-solving skills. It increases your productivity. And it just makes life more enjoyable, especially in the present moment, because life is meant to be enjoyed. And so problems that can be caused by lacking mental clarity. Number one, exhaustion. You may feel exhausted mentally, where it feels like you've only done something small, but it feels like it took a ton of energy out of you. It can also show up as physical exhaustion. And so I know for me this past week, I have been extremely tired. I only have gone to my day job, and when I get off, I'm tired, and I've been resting more. I've been getting more hours of sleep at night. And I've just been taking it easier with myself and on myself, pacing myself, not overdoing it, not pushing myself too far, because I've been exhausted, and I'm being honest with myself, and that's how I take care of myself. It can also show up as having issues with focus. And so you may lack focus because of lack of mental clarity. And so it can affect your productivity. It can affect your ability to concentrate on the task at hand or whatever it is that you're trying to do. For me this week, it's been, even though I sit down for 10 to 12 minutes a day and meditate every single day, even when I'm in meditation, my mind is like turning over the thing that hasn't quite worked itself out within me. And so, yeah. And this lack of focus, you can tell that that's what's going on when what you're struggling to focus on is something that normally comes so naturally to you. And then the other thing that a lack of mental clarity can do is it can disrupt your motivation. And so you may feel fired up on a normal day to jump in there and get shit done. But, when that mental clarity is low, you may drag getting things done. You may not feel like doing it at all. Today, I forced myself through a back exercise that my chiropractor told me I needed to do every single week. I made myself do it, and it took longer than it needed to, but it needed to be done. But that's what a lack of mental clarity can do to you, is make things drag along. It can make you procrastinate, like sitting down and writing down out the notes of what we're going to talk about today about 20 minutes ago. Normally I prepare a little better. I let y'all know that I'm going to be on so that you have that reminder, but I'm human too. That's just what it is. And so I want to give you 3 tips so that you can escape scattered energy. Tip number 1, I want you to feel the feels. That means if anger is coming up, if sadness is coming up, if a feeling of I don't know, I just feel crazy and off is coming up, that's okay. But let yourself feel that. Because if you don't, if you try to stuff it down and you're like, I don't have time to deal with this, you're just saving it for later. So, choice is up to you. You can do something with it now, or you can save it for 10 years down the road when you're unpacking a whole bunch of other shit that you ain't never unpacked. So, tip number 2 is to seek clarity. And so in this lack of mental clarity, we want to find clarity. That's the whole point of this. And so while you're in the process of feeling the feels, anything that comes up, journal about it. Talk about it with your therapist. Talk about it with your coach. That could be me if you need it to be. Talk about it with somebody that feels safe. If you happen to have a family member that you feel you can share safely with, or a friend, do that. Because sometimes talking it out, getting the language, putting into words what is troubling you or weighing on you can bring so much clarity, and it feels like a weight is being lifted off of you. And then the 3rd tip that I have is to show up the best that you can. And so if that looks like you need to take a nap or you need to take the day off because you just can't mentally show up, do that. If that looks like setting a boundary with how you're going to show up to a thing or a place or whatever, do that. If that looks like being patient with yourself instead of trying to force the same amount of productivity that you normally would be able to produce, if you can't do that, it's okay. Be patient with yourself. Allow yourself to slow down, regroup. And then once you're back to you, you can go and be as productive as you feel. Your energy will flow. You won't even have to work for it. It'll come naturally all over again. And so the benefits of this, sorry, my lighting and my setup is a little different. The benefit of this, these 3 tips, practicing these, is you will build a muscle for overcoming lack of mental clarity. Like I said at the earlier part of this live, this has been the fastest I feel like I've worked through where I feel like I've fallen into a place where I'm like, something's going on. I don't really know what's going on, but I don't like it. Let's sit in this and see what this is. Sometimes, or in the past, it's taken months to work through this. And then before, it's taken just a couple of months. This time it was like a week. And that is progress and that is growth. And that is what we are here to do. The other thing is you will lower your stress. When you feel clarity of mind, you aren't guessing, you aren't trying to figure out, you're not having trouble with problem solving. You are in your natural flow of things. This is also taking the time to get clear after you've felt like you've scattered and all over the place. It's like built-in self-care, because these are the things that you should be doing anyway to take care of yourself. Feeling your feelings, that's the thing you should be doing anyway. And life will be more enjoyable. When you're not feeling extremely physically exhausted and mentally exhausted, you can show up in life, you can enjoy it to the fullest the way that you always do. And so, in closing, I just want to say that my resource this week, I don't have like a specific resource, but my resource this week is for you to watch something that makes you cry. TV show, movie, doesn't really matter, but something that gets the waterworks happening and gets those juices flowing. For me, it was This Is Us. It had several seasons. They're not on anymore, but I called that my weekly cry. And I may actually have to go back and start from the beginning and just watch an episode every couple weeks, because something about having a good cry every so often, It's cleansing. I also watched a movie last night. That was a comedy, but it also was, you know, it had feels. It had the feels. It was called Afterlife of the Party. It's on Netflix. So find something that makes you cry, that gets you emotional, that makes you feel beyond whatever is going on in your day to day. And yeah, if you feel that you need support in coming out of a funk or getting clear on the direction of your life so that you can reach the goals that you need to reach, take a minute and go to chat with Yamz, YAMZ.com to book a discovery call with me. And let's see if we're a good fit to work together. Before I go, I'm going to recap these 3 tips on gaining mental clarity. And that is going to be number 1, to feel the feels. Number 2, to seek clarity. And number 3, show up the best that you can. Thank you for your time. I'll be here again next Monday at 5:30 Central Standard Time. And yeah, it'll be about 10 minutes of goodness with some food for thought and some actionable steps so that you can make changes in your life so that you can have a more happy and fulfilling life. I want that for everybody. So talk to y'all next week.